All right, welcome back to my channel where math is made easy. So today we're going to be looking at how do we identify and write equations of perpendicular lines. All right, now there are some quick things that I want us to touch on before we go into actually doing some of those problems. First, we need to know what happens to the slope of the lines if they are perpendicular. All right, so the perpendicular lines, and I'm gonna just underline this so that you can zoom into it. The perpendicular lines, the slopes are the negative reciprocals of each other. All right, so once they're perpendicular, the slope, when you multiply both slopes, you should get a -1. Now let's just do some backtracking a little bit, because when we use the word reciprocals, a lot of people don't really know what that is, but it's super simple. It's just saying the flip. All right, for example, if I have 3, then the reciprocal is going to be 1/3. Why? Because 3 is also 3/1. Now remember, it did say it's the negative reciprocal. So if the two slopes are perpendicular, if the lines are perpendicular, then this is going to be -1/3. What if I have -1/3? Then the reciprocal is just going to be 3/1, which is the flip, and it's going to be a positive because it's the negative reciprocal. All right, so if it's already negative, then it's going to be positive. If it's positive, it's negative. Now let's look at if we have one of these. So let's say we have 2/8. What would be the negative reciprocal of 2/8? Flipping it, that becomes the top, that becomes the bottom. All right, so it will now be 8/2, and remember it's the negative reciprocal. Good. So I think with that we can now go into solving some of these questions. All right, let's go. All right, let's look at example 4. It says writing an equation of a perpendicular line. All right, it says write an equation of the line that passes through -3, 1 and is perpendicular to the line this. So there are some key things that we must to look for. It says that they are perpendicular. They are perpendicular. What does that mean? It means that my M1, I like to just call it my M1 as in my first slope. This slope right here is going to be a half. Then because they are perpendicular, remember we just looked at if they are perpendicular, it has to be the negative flip or the negative reciprocal. Then my M2 is going to be the flip of this. So that now moves to the top and this moves to the bottom. So it's going to be 2/1 and it's the negative flip. So that's -2, which is the same thing as just -2. All right, so we can go ahead now and we're going to plug in, because I want it to be in the form y equals mx plus b. Right, that's my line, my equation for the second line right there. So I know my y, I'm just going to do some substitution just to find my b so I can write the equation. So I know that's my x and that's my y. I know my y, so my y is 1. My m is -2 and my x is -3. I don't know my b. That's what we're solving for. Now, let me just highlight this before I go any further. Please do not make the mistake of using the slope for that line. You're using the slope of the line that you're trying to find, and we would have established that that slope is the flip of that, the negative flip of that, right? So let's go and solve for b. So that's 6 plus b. I want b by itself, so I'm going to undo the 6 from this side. So that's cancelled out, and that's going to give me a negative 5. So b is equal to negative 5. Now I can go ahead and write my equation. So my equation is y equals m. What's my m? Negative 2x, and my b is minus 5. And there we have it. We would have written our equation for the perpendicular line. All right, the perpendicular line of y equals a half x plus 3. All right, I think we can go ahead and try one now. What I want you to do is to try one for yourself. So let's go. Pause the video while you're doing this, and then you can come back to see if you would have gotten it correct. All right, so let's try it. We're going to take question 5. It says write an equation of the line that passes through negative 3, 5, and is perpendicular to the line y equals negative 3x minus 1. So let's go ahead. If my slope here, that's the first thing you need to do, highlight your slope right there. So my m1, and we know that m represents the slope, right? Negative 3, what will be the flip of that? So remember, this is negative 3 over 1. So if it's going to flip, it's going to be the 1 on top and the 3 now at the bottom. And because it's the negative flip, then if that is negative, it's going to be positive there. Why? Because it means that it's the negative flip. It's going to be a negative times a negative, which will give me a positive, right? So for those of us who don't understand why this will now become a positive, that's the reason. So let's go ahead and substitute our values. So y equals mx plus b. What's my y? That's 5. What's my m? That's 1/3. My x is negative 3 plus b. Alright, that's 5, and remember this means that you're multiplying, so that's 1/3 times negative 3, and you can put that over 1 just for ease of access. So that's negative 3 over 3, which is the same thing as negative 1. Alright, so let's plug that here. Negative 1 plus b. Let me use a different color right here. So I'm trying to get rid of this negative 1, so the inverse operation, that's going to be equal to 6. B is equal to 6. We can go ahead now and write our equation. Y is equal to mx, which is my m, and remember it's always your new m, your m2. 1/3 m, and that's a positive 6 right there. And there we have it. Writing equation of perpendicular lines in 1, 2, 3 easy steps. Just easy. It's easy, and I think if you follow this procedure or follow these steps, you'd be able to do this just like that. All right, thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. I want you to like, share, subscribe, and please leave a comment to let me know if these videos are helping you. All right, thank you.